So, so see students, this is the unit 4. Few things, the basics of this input output have been covered in the textbook in chapter 13. That part I have explained in last class. Okay, just go through that. If not, no problem, no problem. But few programs I have explained. I will upload the video also. Watch it. Okay, it will be helpful for you all to understand the next concepts. It is not difficult. Okay, now, so you can see over here, this chapter explores Java input output. Okay, means what? It provides support for input output operation. Okay, so we will examine over here the input output operations in detail. Okay, then. So you can see all programmers learn early on most programs cannot accomplish their goals without accessing external data. What do you mean by this point is, see, whatever the programming you are going to do, you will provide the input and you will see the output. Okay. Few programs, you will write the data in the program itself and you will see the functioning of those programs. But mostly the programs, whatever applications you will make, you will give the input and according to the input, you will get the output. Okay, so the data retrieved is the input source and what output you get is the output destination. So in Java, these source and destinations are defined very broadly. For example, you can see over here a network connection, memory buffer, disk file, which can be manipulated by Java input output classes. So you can see over here, although physically different, means disk is different, memory buffer is different thing, network connection is different thing. So these devices are all handled by same abstraction, that is the stream. So what is the stream? I have explained in last class in chapter number 13. Okay, it is nothing but the flow of data. Now students, see here the input output classes and interfaces. This table you can see over here consists of the classes which you are going to use. Okay, when you are going to provide input and you are going to see the output. Okay, so these are the input output classes. File, see buffer input stream, file writer, piped output stream, so on till you can see piped input stream. Okay, you will not learn all these things here. Okay, few of them you will see the functioning of what is the purpose of these classes. Okay, just give a glance. So this is the table which is consisting of input output classes predefined, and this is the next table which consists of the interfaces. Again, interfaces, all you will not see. Few things, few interfaces you'll be using like file name filter and this one serializable, externalizable. Few interfaces we will see their functioning. Okay. Now, so the first topic under this, the first concept under this topic is file. Okay. So what is a file is? Let me increase the font. Okay. So now, file is nothing but what should I say? It gives you the information associated with particular folder. Okay, like suppose you can see over here, this is particular folder, Java folder. See desktop, Java, I'm clicking. This is a folder. So what it consists of, you can get the information with the help of your Java program. With the help of your Java program, okay, you can get the information. Nothing but you are going to use file object over there in the program. Okay. Similarly, if I click programs and in programs, I'm clicking this folder. Now you can get the information of what kind of files this particular folder files is consisting of. It consists of 3 types of files over here. Okay. You can see .class files, .java files, txt files. Like this kind of information you can get with the help of this particular concept file. So you can see over here, although most of the classes defined by Java.io operate on streams, the file class does not. What do you mean by this? It deals directly with files and file system. Means what? That is, the files does not specify how information is retrieved from or stored in files. Okay, it does not deals with this thing. Okay, but it rather gives the description, okay, of the file. Okay, so a file object is used to obtain or manipulate the information associated with a disk file, such as what are the permissions, time when it was modified, date, and directory path, etc., etc. Okay. Now for this one also there is a simple program. Okay, with the program you can understand in detail. I will explain that program also, execution also I will show you. Okay, but before that, just a theory. What I want to explain is what is the theory behind this concept. Okay, so now this file consists of constructors, again 4 constructors. Remember, each and every class every time will have constructors. Okay, so if one of the 2 constructors we will use, not all. Okay, so over here the first constructor consists of a parameter, that is directory path, which is the path name, and file name is the name of the file or subdirectory. Okay, this thing. Okay, at last you can see the last constructor, which consists of URI obj. What is that? Is it is uniform resource identifier, which describes the file. Okay, now these are few examples over here. Okay, the first one you can see, which consists of directly the directory path. Okay, the path of the folder. The second you can see, it consists of directory path as well as a particular file. What file you want to check, you can check .bat. You can have .java also. You can write .class also over there. Whatever the extension you want to give, you can give, and you can get the information of that kind of a file. Okay, now the last one you see over here, the last constructor. What it is having 2 parameters. The first parameter is object itself, means f1. So that is f1 is, you can see from here, it is the path. So over here f1 is over here as an object, means what, it is directly consisting of the path, and the next thing, it is consisting of the file name. Okay, students, now it has got many methods: get name, get parent, exits. Okay, and all this, many methods are there in this. Okay, so you can see get name, what it will do, it will return the name of the file. Get parent returns the name of the parent directory. Exits, what it will do, it returns true if the file is available or not. If it is available, it will return true. If it is not available, it will return false. Like that it is. So this is a simple program. You can see file demo. What I'll do is I will open that program. File demo is over here. Okay. So this is the program. Okay, which I have copied in my computer and I have executed also. I will show you over here. See, I will execute Java C file demo. The name is file demo.java. It is taking some time. It is compiled. Now I will run the program. You can see over here now. See, first of all, students, please observe here. Don't get confused with the program. You see this particular thing, main method at line number 7. That is the point from where the execution starts. And you all please observe at line number 8. At line number 8, what is there in the textbook is it has given its own path. Okay. What I did is I have given my path where this program is residing in my computer. You can give your path also, don't worry. Okay, so this is the path I have given. That thing I'm mentioning you that I have done this thing. I've changed the path. Okay, according to my computer program. Okay, now after that you see the line number 10 to line number 21. Please students, please observe from line number 10 to line number 21. All of them are method calls. Okay, P then bracket, method call they are. Method call means what will happen, this is a call, it will call this method. This is the called function which is going to receive the call. From here you will be able to see the output. Okay, that thing you have to note down. Okay, so now what it is printing, line number 10, it is printing the file name f1.getName. You just see here. Yeah, see this. So what is the file name? Files. Okay, there are some files. of the folder name. Folder name, that is, you can observe here. See, what is the folder name? Files. So due to that, it is returning the file name. Okay. The next thing you see, 11th one, f1.getPath. f1.getPath is showing you the complete path. Okay. Absolute path will also return the path itself. Don't go in detail. It is giving you the path. Then you see line number 13, f1.getParent. Means getParent means before this files, this is the parent path till unit 4 folder, from home till unit 4. So you can observe here. So till this is the parent path of files folder. I hope you all have understood. Then 14th line, it will check. This is a ternary operator, students. I am not going to explain ternary operator. f1.exits means f1 over here from line f1 is consisting of some path. What path? Files folder path. That is there no in my computer. It is there. So f1.exits is true. So this will be the answer. First one, exits. So that is why you can see. And now 15th one and 16th one, you see can write question mark means you can add more number of files in this particular folder. You can write and you can read also from here. What are the fold files and all those things. So due to that, can write is true. So first option is writable. You can see the output. Similarly, can read, that is also true. So this is the output you can see. Okay, now the last one is, see, you see 17th one, sorry, is after that it is concatenated. F1 dot is directory. A directory means it is a folder or a file that it will check. So it is a folder. So due to that, you see this is the first option, space. Okay, nothing is over here. It is a space. Okay, after that it should concatenate this a directory, but I don't know why it is not giving this message. It's not a problem, but what is the ternary operator? This is the ternary operator, students. See, question mark is first expression. After question mark, that is the second expression. After colon, that is the third expression. So you see the first expression is directory. Yes, true. So the answer will be the expression 2. So that is, you can see over here, space. Fine. Okay. Now 18th one is file. Is it a normal file or might be a named pipe? Means what? In that you will have more files. So is file, it is not a normal file. So this is not the answer, expression 1. Sorry, expression 2. So expression 3 is an answer. Might be a named file like that. Okay, f1 dot absolute. It is absolute file. Yes, it is absolute file. So this is the answer. Is absolute. Fine, students. When it was modified, this is the modification time. And what is the size in terms of bytes? F1 dot length. It will calculate the size in terms of bytes, 4096. Okay. So that's it, students. This was the first program under the topic of file, that is input output classes. Okay. So move to the textbook. Okay. There are some other methods also. Okay, just go through this theory part in the textbook. Is file is absolute. What I have explained, that only is over here. Okay. Oh. Yeah, the next one is a directory. So as I said just now, directory means it will check whether it is a directory or not, whether it is consisting of files or not. That thing it will give the information about. See, a directory is a file that contains list of other files and directories. Okay, when you create a file object that is a directory, the is directory method will return true. Okay. Remember, student, directory means directory like this. This is what a directory means. This complete thing is under file folder. So files folder is a directory. Inside that you can store. But whereas you see only ext.java is there. What is this? This is not a directory. This is a file. Okay, this is one kind of a program. Directory is different. So directory is nothing but a folder. So you see here. What it will consist? It will consist of list of files. So you can see a directory is a file that contains a list of other files and directories. Okay, students. So I have already copied the program. I will show you in my computer. What is the name you just see here? Direct dir list. Let's open this program. Dir list.java. This is a program which I have covered. Again, students, see, I have given my path over here. Okay, dir name is one kind of a variable. In that variable, what I am doing is I have stored some path, my computer path. Okay, I'll press Control L. You all can observe. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, you see here. I'm pressing Control L. So this is my path. Okay, of this folder. So I have copied and pasted over here. So according to that, it will work. So you people also, you give your own path according to your computer. Don't give according to the textbook. You will find different output then. Why? Because this person has given the path over here according to his computer program, his computer. Okay. So let's see the output over here. Let me clear the command prompt. I will clear the command prompt clear. That is done. Now, just a second. Compile the program. DIRLIST. See here. This is the output. What you can see over. See, students. I'm sure, first of all, before seeing this output, you see here. What is the thing it is consisting of, this directory? It is consisting of drlist.class, drlist.java, drlist only.class, so on till see here file1.txt, file2.txt, so on till only ext.java. So it is consisting of three kind of files: .class file, .class, .java, and .txt. So in the output, that is why it is giving you, see what, the complete information. It is consisting of file demo.class. You see here only you can see file output stream demo.java. You can see here file 3.txt. Means what? Whatever is there in that folder, this program is giving you the information that these are the types of files which is available in this path at line number 5. Okay, I hope you all have understood what kind of output this is giving. So how it is working is, you see, at line number 6, what you have to do is, the initial thing, you have to create an object F1 to file class, and you have to instantiate in memory. And in this constructor, see here, as you have seen just now, there are three types of constructors. So this is the first constructor we have chosen. Okay, what is this? This is a path. Okay, in our path, what we have given? We have given this path. We have stored that in this variable. So here we are giving that path in the form of variable. I hope you have understood, students. Okay. So now 7th line, you see F1 dot is directory. Means F1 is having the information of dir name. What is dir name? Complete path. So in F1, it is having the path. That path is what? A folder or not? Means is it a directory? Is directory? Yes, it's a directory. So due to that, what it is happening, 7th line, if condition is true. So it will come inside that braces, that is in the line number 8, and it will print directory of dir name. So directory of dir name, it is giving you the path. And next, 9th line, what it is doing? F1.list. So remember, student, it is having one method list. Who is having this particular file class will have one method list. What it will do is, you can see here, in this case, you can call list on that object to extract the list of other files and directories inside. Okay, I'm repeating again. In this case, you can call this method list on what? On the object. That is, you can see over here f1.list. On that object, you can call list. So what it will do, it will extract the list of files and other directories inside this. Means in this particular folder, all this information will be extracted. By whom? By this method list. Okay, so f1.list means it will extract complete thing information, and that is stored in an array. S is an array. In this, everything is stored. Now, to display them, we can use for loop. At 9th, 10th line, you see, for loop is used, I equal to 0, I less than s dot length. S dot length means how many number of files are there, that will be the value of s dot length. And according to that 11th line, what is this 11th line doing is, see here in this directory name, okay, s of 0 means 0th position, it is storing the name of the file. Okay, what, suppose for example, what it has taken first thing, file demo.class. Now you see here file demo.class, this is the first thing where it is stored in F. So now 12th line it will check what is that file demo.class. Is it a directory? No, it is not a directory. So if condition is false, so it will come to else part. So 15th line it is displaying s of 0. What is s of 0? File demo.class. So 15th line will give you this output is a file. Like that, for each and everything it will check. Okay, this for loop will iterate how many number of times according to s dot length. S dot length, each and every file will be evaluated with if and else. It will check for each and everything, whether it is a directory, whether it is a file, whether it is a directory, whether it is a file. So each and everything will be evaluated. Okay. That's it, students. I hope you all have understood this particular program, simple program. What is this program? What is the concept in this? It will have one method, is directory. The purpose of this one is to check. What to check? That what you have given over here, like over here, dir name. Here, dir name. It is a path. Okay. What path you have given? You have given the path of this folder files. So it will check whether that folder files is a directory, means it is a folder or a file. It is a folder. So that is true. That concept we are seeing. And after that, we are extracting everything from that folder by using this list. Okay, then again, we are checking whatever is there in that, each and everything, is it a file or directory? We are checking according to this, again, if condition. If it is a directory, it will give the message, yes, the first thing is a directory. If it is not, it will go to the else part. It is a file. Okay, students, this one is enough. The next thing is file name filter. So see, students, next thing is this, as I said just now, file name filter. What we can do is, by the name itself, file name filter. Okay, what do you mean by file name filter is, suppose from this folder, like this is a folder. Now from this folder, what you want to do is, suppose for example, you want to extract the information related with .java file only. Means in this particular folder, you are having .java file, .class file, .txt, and you only want the information related to .java. So how to get that kind of output, or how to get that kind of an information is, at that time you should go for file name filter. Okay, that is an interface. So with the help of the interface file name filter, what you can do is you can get that kind of information. Okay, so in this one, yeah, so directly what I'll do is, students, I will explain the program, then I will explain the theory. Okay, so see the program first. What is the name of the program? There are two classes, only ext and dir list only. So what I did is, see here, only ext.java is over here. I have copied it. Okay, this is the program. Okay, and the next thing is the next file dir list only. See here, where is that? It is over here. Okay, see students. So see students, what I'll do is directly I will execute the program first. Now you see I will clear it, but observe here at line number, let me provide the line numbers. Line number 7, what I have given over here, Java. So I will explain in detail, don't worry. So over here I will get the names of the files which are with .java in that folder. So it is getting compiled. It is compiled now. Now you see I will run the program. I'm pressing enter. So see here, in this folder, how many .java are there? That is the output it is showing us. Similarly, what I'll do is I will change this extension txt. Let's compile it again. Why? Because I have changed it, no? The program. See, it is compiled. I am running it. Now you see. So what this is doing, it is giving you the information related to what kind of extension you are giving over here. Okay, students, I hope you have understood the concept of this particular file name filter. Okay, now let's go to the textbook. I will explain this theory part. It's very simple. I hope you have understood. See here, these are the two programs. You can write in one notepad also, no problem. Otherwise, you write in two notepads. You save it with this program. You save it with only ext.java, and you save this one with dir list only.java. But remember, you only have to compile the dir list only program, and you have to run from this only. Okay, so by default, what it will do is dir list only.java. When you compile, it will create .class file for this, as well as it will create a .class file of only ext.java also. Okay. So now you see here, students, how it is working is, remember one more thing, only ext over here, it is implementing file name filter. And again, you all have remembered, whenever an interface is implemented, its method should be defined. So you can see over here, file name filter defines only a single method. What is that? Accept. So this is the method which is used to check whether that kind of a file extension is available or not. Okay, that accept method will do. Okay. So see here, accept method returns true for files in the directory specified by the directory. Okay. Otherwise, if it is not available, it will return false. So we will see, students. See here how the working is. First of all, main method, here you give your path. Okay, and you are giving the variable name which is consisting of the path. And here you see file name filter is an interface, and it is instantiated, and this is a method call. So straight away from here, what will happen? What will happen is, sorry. So straight away from here, it will call to the method of this one, with this class, only ext, and ext will receive, I have given as Java over here. Place of this, I have given Java, txt, whatever your wish. Okay, it's up to you, students, no problem. So suppose we have given .txt. So here what will happen, this .txt will be equal to that whatever you have given from here. So as we have given txt. So now what will happen is, as this particular program is implementing file name filter, in this one, this is defined. Okay. So dir, what is this dir? It is consisting of the directory name. Okay. That is dir name. And okay. And what is this is going to happen is, what is this particular